August 1st, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-futures mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. It was quite a big drop overnight. I believe this is because Trump's tariffs have come into play now, and he's imposed a bunch of tariffs on a bunch of countries. So in the pre-market, you see this big leg down, break, kind of chop sideways. So it's like break, chop down, another leg down, two legs up. A very gradual but very decisive sell-off here. I actually had trouble finding a good channel. So when I get into it, you're going to see a lot of overlapping channels and kind of affected some of the setups and made me avoid some setups. And then it kind of pushes down, break two legs up. Kind of looks like it's two, maybe three legs down, but it's very choppy. Then two legs up, another sell-off, sideways consolidation, push down, another push up, and another sideways consolidation. The market hasn't actually closed yet, so I'm doing this video early because I got to book it out of here pretty soon. So I also found that things look like they were just kind of ranging, but it was from, you could tell the open 63.73 all the way down to a low of 62.39. So this is a 140, 130, well, 130 point drop, which is quite huge. But I would say most of the time it was staying within roughly a 40 to 50 point range, but it was kind of oscillating quite frequently back and forth, but it never really hit the highs and hit the lows. There were quite a few setups that kind of came up today. I took a total of 2 trades, which were both profitable, a little bit much better than yesterday. So I'm getting into trades right now. The only economic data that came out was at around 5:30 Pacific Standard, which is about right here where my arrow is. You see this kind of crazy, see if I can zoom in. This crazy whipsaw action, that was the average hourly earnings and non-farm employment change, also the unemployment rate. Then right here at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard, about right here, not as crazy whipsaw, but there was a little bit of noise that happened. Let's see if I can zoom in. This was the ISM Manufacturing PMI. And then other than that, it was just kind of a slow meandering day. I mean, I wouldn't say it was slow because the volume and volatility are definitely higher. This is the highest it's been all week, which is good because if the rest of the days after this pick up, then it offers a lot more trading opportunities and less sitting around, which is always welcome. So I'm going to get into the trades right now. So in the pre-market carryover from overnight, it kind of went down, two legs up, measured move, came down on this. Initially, I thought it was this green down channel, but it broke and it dwelled for quite a while. So I actually established it as this potential orange down channel. Good, one touch here, two touch, three touch, and this is actually after the fact because I don't trade the pre-market, but I did see a potential trade here. If this had shown up or set up like this, shown up in regular trading hours, is something I would consider taking. There's a new low, it's a first entry short, pullback, second entry short, first break of this orange down channel. So we're expecting to test at the low, and it's a good signal bar. A breaks of the orange down channel, test the low, kind of looks like it's two legs, but not very clean, pushes back down. And this is all in the pre-market, so there's quite a lot of volume happening in the pre-market, which is a good indication when I start sitting down looking at the charts right here. I look to the left, when I see a bunch of candles, then I could kind of have a pretty good indication the day might be a high volume day, which usually translates to probably more setups. So looking at it was a spike in a channel up, one leg up, pull back, second leg up. And so this is kind of where this leg down starts moving sideways. Keep in mind this yellow, this red, and this light blue aren't established yet. The market opens, looks like it's new low. It's a first entry short. It sets up the second entry short. I actually thought this was a possible trade. So it looks like, so in the pre-market, before the market opened, I do draw this blue down channel. And it's actually just a trend line because it looked like it was one touch, two touch, and then eventually third touch. But there's at least two touches here. And it looked like it fit nicely on the low side. So this blue channel is fitting nicely down here on the low side. I saw it was a new low. First entry short, there's a breakout here. First attempt up, pull back, and it creates a second entry short like a double signal bar. I like that it went first entry short, break, immediately got pushed down. EMA is starting to hold resistance. It coincidentally lined up nicely with this down channel trend line. So this one is a good signal bar. I'm thinking of going short. The follow through trigger bar, so this could actually be used as a signal bar. And this one's actually even better because it closed at the low. I thought there was enough for 1 point scalp, but I'm skipping this because if you look at the timestamp, there's already 4, 5, 6 candles printed, and this is only 34 seconds into the trading day. So that it does make me a little more cautious because usually the first few minutes can be kind of wild where people are getting into position. So I'm afraid something unexpected could happen. But if you're a little bit more ambitious, definitely there's a trade there. Prices start moving down. So it's fitting this blue down channel pretty nicely. So I'm trading the blue down channel, but I also saw this overlapping purple channel because I saw it's actually one touch, two touch, kind of a third touch here, but there's no real clean second entry setups that I particularly like. I mean, you could say there's a new high, first entry long. Technically, I have a second entry long, but it's a bad signal bar to go long on. So I'm just sitting on my hands, just letting this play out. It looks like it's obeying or staying nicely within this blue down channel, but also this purple down channel might be in play. Keep in mind this yellow one and this red one don't exist yet. So pushes and breaks out of this, both the purple and blue down channel. Break, new low here, it's first entry short, pull back. I also thought this is a possible trade because this is the first break of this green up channel. It did make, so that was a closing bell. So it's a break of this green up channel. First attempt up and then flushes down. I also like that it's a new low, first entry short, pull back. This is the signal bar, and it's telling you that it went above this guy and then it pretty much engulfed both of these bars and closed below the EMA. So the EMA looks like it's still in play. I'm thinking prices want to move back into this blue down channel and in this case also into this purple down channel. The only thing that would have made this better is if this had closed at the low, but I do like that it moved a couple ticks up and flushed down. So you had to, if you try to enter one tick below here, you wouldn't have gotten filled. And if I saw this, I would have canceled my order. But if I try to reduce risk even more, then I probably would have put it one tick below here. In this case, I would have been in on this candle. I had to kind of wait through it. And then finally, this candle or this candle would have gotten you the quick scalp. So prices moved down. Now I'm questioning the validity of this blue and this purple down channel. So this blue down channel. So this actually this purple one, it's bouncing. It's looking a little choppy. I find, because I have a bunch of trend lines drawn at the time, that this yellow one does touch pretty nicely here, but better than that is the low side of this yellow down channel. Fits pretty well on the low side too. So I'm thinking, is there a bigger overlapping yellow down channel? So now it's a little confusing because I have this blue one, the smaller purple one, and then this yellow one. As prices keep moving down, this is how I had my purple one. It looks like the purple one isn't valid anymore. So I actually kind of stopped it here. I don't think it's quite as important. And then the blue one doesn't look quite so valid yet anymore either because there's a break. There's a long dwell time. So I kind of terminated the blue one here. So I'm thinking I'm in this bigger yellow down channel, but now prices look like they're fitting pretty nicely in this orange down channel. So I'm playing this orange down channel as kind of a more micro view, and on the macro view, it's moving down on this yellow down channel. So prices are moving down. There's no real key second entry point, no real nice second entry setups. It's a new low here. It's a first entry short right here. It creates this second entry short possibility. Now, I thought it was a possible trade, but I felt it was a little more aggressive because it looks like it's two clean legs up. First break of this orange down channel, you're expecting prices to move back in. I wanted a better signal bar close, but I also consider that it could be bouncing off the bottom of this yellow down channel. So it could be trying to make two attempts up to test the high. So it all depends on what the next candle is going to do. So when it flushes down, I felt like, okay, I'm a little bit late on the entry now, so I didn't want to take it. If this had been red, my order would have been ready. I'm looking actually for a lower high, ideally for push up, touch of the EMA, and then reject down. But I'm also aware that this is at the low of day, so it's kind of a big demand that it comes up, breaks above this guy, ideally touches, rejects, but doesn't reject too hard that I don't have any room to potentially scalp out. So it's not looking too promising. It doesn't even do that, it just kind of keeps moving down. And at this point, I thought, well, actually, I had this red trend line coming down, and it kind of cuts through. Doesn't quite fit well because there's an overlap here. Later turns into this transparent channel that I don't trust too much. That's why I didn't color it in. Kind of moves sideways because it ends up touching here. Look ahead. It's just kind of chopping sideways right now. No clean second entries. Looks like it's in a trading range. Pushes up. It's a fail breakout of this trading range. So my expectation is prices are going to move back into here. Looks like it's one leg up. First entry short. Pull back. Technically, you have a second entry short that's confirmed here now. This signal bar in real time would not have me thinking of going short because it closed at the high side and it's inside to this guy. But now you do have a confirmed second entry short, but it's an almost trade. I saw it, I thought about it in real time thinking it is a fail breakout. If it's in range rules, it's going with trend because it's continuing the bearish bias. But I just didn't like that it didn't close at the low. So it made me a little cautious. If it closed at the low, then I know it's pushing back into this trading range. Then the subsequent follow through bar is inside, but it's also green. So that definitely gives me pause. And of course, you don't see this big thing happen. There was quite a few of these big impulse spikes that happened throughout the day that were just unplanned, no news that I could see that caused this. So that also made me extra cautious. Kind of chops sideways, then continues moving down. So that's here. I established my red trend line. Kind of have a fail breakout here, but it touched pretty nicely here. Then I established it as a trading trend channel. One touch here, two touch. It looks like it fits pretty well, but not enough for me to color it in. So here, I'm not so sure the yellow down channel is valid anymore, although it's pushing back in to test the low. Now I'm just kind of cautious, waiting for prices to kind of tell me what's really happening. Pushes down on this green down channel. Technically, you have a new high here. You have a first entry long here, way down here. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but you're not thinking of going long here. Then the follow through trigger bar definitely is not making you very confident to go long. Of course, you're not going to go short either because it's already at the low of day. So it's just kind of sitting on your hands and waiting. Bounces and pushes up. Looks like it's moving up this micro orange up channel. Be a little bit tighter. Break, test the high. So I'm thinking the up channel push has tested the high. Most likely it's going to push back in to this transparent yellow, this transparent red down channel because it's a failed breakout. Probably come back in. Pushes. I'm looking for a lower high, but even if there is a lower high, if it doesn't break below the EMA, I'd be extra cautious. Pushes, closes just right at the EMA. So this is the lower high, but you don't know it at the time. Pushes through. The follow through isn't very convincing because it's still closing above the EMA. Then it finally pushes down and it kind of comes back up. So there's no trade here. It's a little confusing. I'm just sitting this out, waiting for this to clear itself out. Looks like it's a spike up. And then the only way to make this fit was kind of having a trend line here. Initially, I had this little tighter like that. This actually sets up for my first trade. So I saw this like one leg up, kind of like two, maybe three legs down, which isn't conventional, but it looks like it's one leg up, break, test the high. Maybe it's one leg down, pull back, another leg down. Now pushes up, kind of matching one leg up, two legs down, one leg up, and then it spikes and goes into a channel. I also saw a new high here. It's a new high. First entry long, pullback, second entry long. Second entry long, it's bouncing nicely off this orange channel support. I like that it moved two ticks below and pushes back up and closes. So I thought this is probably good enough for a quick 2-point scalp because a 2-point scalp, I'm still under this clear resistance point. So I enter right at the highs. So it actually opens, pushes down. When it comes back up and it breaks above, I drop my order in. It dwelled up here for a little while, came back and picked me up. I had to sit through the sideways. My stop's actually below this candle. And it flushes up and I got my quick 2-point scalp. No runners because I need to see more days like this to trust having runners. So it's just a quick 2-point scalp, in and out, take the profit and run. Prices then push up. Looks like it's fitting within this orange up channel pretty nicely. I did adjust it up just so I don't have this overshoot. Looks pretty clean. It looks really clean on the low side as well. Looks like it's one leg down, first entry long, pull back. Technically have a second entry long here, but it's a bad signal bar, bad trigger bar follow through below the EMA, so I'm not thinking of going long. It pushes up. This is one of those other impulse spikes that I did not expect. It just randomly happened because it happened right here. So it's like first entry long pullback, second entry long, potential higher low. The follow through wasn't that convincing, but it looks like it's moving back into this orange up channel. So it's like a failed breakout here. I just go ahead and label it because I didn't label it before. Now I'm thinking it's pushing up. There's a new low, first entry short, second entry short. Second entry short, I like the signal bar here. It's staying within the orange up channel. I'm potentially thinking there's a failed second entry short here. 2 legs down, looks like it's 1 leg up, pull back. Technically a second leg up, but it's holding on the EMA, pushing into the orange up channel. I thought this is a possibly good trade. Of course, I didn't know it was going to do that, but it would have worked. Again, this orange up channel support's holding pretty well. It actually sets up for my next trade because it's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long setting up right here. I really trusted that this orange up channel is holding pretty nicely because it looks like it's moving back up. Keep in mind, I don't have this trading range established yet, but it looks like prices are moving back up. I was playing with other channels at the time, potentially see if I could make anything fit nicely. Nothing quite fit nicely, so I treated it as like 2 legs up, spike in a shallow channel moving up. Also had something like this at one time, but it still didn't look good. I also considered moving the low side of this down to here, but then it fits so nicely up there, back up here, that I treated this as a failed breakout. And I thought, okay, prices are still kind of obeying this orange up channel going up. Has a nice signal bar here. I entered at the highs, but I did wait for a break above. So open, push down again, bounces off the support, moves up, breaks above this guy. That's where I drop in my order, pushes, picks me up, and then closes the high. Closes the high, was able to get another 2-point scalp, no runner. This getting the 2 points was asking for 1 tick above here. So the more conservative route would have been to go for a 1-point scalp, which likely would have, got me out right here. But I was aiming for 2. If this one didn't get me out, this one would have. My stop was actually below here. So in this case, even if I didn't get out here, this guy would have gotten me out, or eventually this guy. But I'm glad I got my profit target early because I didn't want to, you don't want to sit through this if you don't have to. But seeing these follow-up candles kind of reinforces the strength of this orange up channel. Prices continue moving up. You have a first entry long, and then it starts breaking through now. So now, since this orange up channel has failed before, technically failed another time here, I don't really consider this a failure, but it looked like it failed this time, made a higher low, so it's strength coming in. When it fails the second time, I'm not so convinced now that it's going to come back up and test the high of this orange because each subsequent attempt hasn't quite made it to this other side. It did previously, 1 touch, 2 touch. You could argue for maybe a 3rd touch, but now it's failing to get up there. Last attempt here was close, but now it's failing coming through. So I'm not convinced now that this high is going to be tested since there was an early break here. Prices then continue moving down. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long. You technically have a second entry long here, but it's below the EMA. And for the reasons I just stated, I'm not convinced that it's going to move back up anymore. Plus, on your micro down channel, there's a break of this orange, break of this red, so you're expecting a test of the low. So it's kind of some conflicting information. So definitely, I wouldn't be thinking of going long here. Kind of chops sideways, starts moving downwards, hits this low point, starts moving back up. Break of the screen up channel is going to try to test the high, so it's 1 attempt, pull back, and when it recovers this much of this move, this leg, you can pretty much count that it's not going to come back and test the highs anymore. Pushes back down. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long pullback. You have a second entry long here. Of course, you don't know it's a second entry long at the time. You just see an inside bar, and not a very good inside bar. Stops around. It's the low. It's a new low. It's a first entry short pullback. So here, I was thinking is break this pink up channel, test the high, potential second entry short in real time. So I was thinking that, but I didn't like the way the signal bar closed is doji-ish and above the EMA, but I marked it as a possible trade. And I was thinking at the time, is this a possible triple test? Because it came down. Granted, it opened here, it broke up and then came back down. So it's a little iffy, but maybe it's one touch, two touch, three touch right here. But it, as I admit, definitely iffy. So it felt a little aggressive. EMA is starting not to become relevant because prices are moving above and below, but I still kept it in mind here. So I thought it was a second entry short, but I didn't want to take it. Didn't know it was going to do that though. It pushes down, bounces here. There's a fail breakout. It's starting to move back in. That's when I thought maybe there's a trading range here, fail breakout here. Now I'm expecting a potential symmetrical fail breakout on this side. Let me clean that up a little bit. Just move sideways. It comes up. There's a potential triple test here. So clearly a more established triple test because this was a little iffy, but clearly one attempt, two attempt, three attempt. It was a new low, first entry short. Technically you have a second entry short. So it might be a lower high, but it's not really a lower high. But if you're playing range rules, it is coming off the top of the range. But as I said, when I saw this in real time, I was expecting a potential symmetrical break on this side. So it's going to be one leg up, pull back, and then maybe a second leg up to here. So that was what I was thinking in real time. This is the first leg. And I was thinking it might create a symmetrical leg here. So I wasn't ready to take a trade, but I did notice triple test, which is down. Would have been good enough for a 2-point scalp. Now it's coming back up. So now I'm really watching is it going to create this breakout on this side. It pushes out. I'm expecting prices to move back into this trading range. And it does. Kind of chops, pushes down, pushes back up. It's getting a little noisy, a little bit hard to read. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, second entry long. You could argue that it's kind of bouncing off this support area, but it feels like it's a little bit in the middle of nowhere. So it's not even a good signal bar. So I left it alone. Didn't even mark it as a trade. Pushes down and out. And it starts consolidating sideways. EMA looks like it might be coming into play. New low, first entry short pullback, second entry short. It's a bad signal bar. Clearly in a trading range. It pushes back into this larger blue trading range. Moves up this orange up channel break, tests the high. Again, now it's moving sideways. New high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. Inside bar, not a good signal bar. Drop sideways. So now I'm just sitting on my hands. I don't really quite know what's going on here. Pushes up and out. Break of the screen, up channel, test the high. Keep in mind this gray trading range doesn't exist yet. It kind of came a little bit later after the fact, so I can't really use it as a key entry point. Pushes down. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long. You have a second entry long. It's a bad signal bar. Don't really like it. Break of this red down channel is tested low. I thought there might be some kind of trading range being established here, but I don't quite trust it yet. I trust it even more now because it looks like it was confirming these touches. The fail breakout of the trading range, it actually doesn't go higher than the previous, so that's good. Starts moving down. I'm thinking it's going to hold support, but it starts breaking through. So I'm thinking another fail breakout on this side. Now I'm expecting prices to move back into here, but you only really get a first entry long. Then it flushes down. So technically you have a new high, first entry long pullback. You have a second entry long just barely by one tick, and a second entry long failure. But you'd have to be very quick and take it on the engulfing, but you'd have to take it after you have a confirmed break of this support area. Because my expectation is this failed breakout is going to make one leg up, pull back, and before this closes, it could still make another push up to here. So it's just something I noticed. I didn't act on it, but it was just something I noticed. Like there's a second entry long failure, but you had to have been really quick. You could also see it as a new low, first entry short pullback, pushes up and back down, a hidden second entry short. But definitely by the time this closes, The trade has already been made. Pushes down. New low, first entry short. Nothing super clean. Starts moving down. I established this transparent red down channel, but I don't trust it all that much because it doesn't touch and confirm very well. But clearly it's a sell-off. New low, first entry short. Nothing particularly nice. It does kind of confirm 3 times now. New low here, first entry short. You technically have a second entry short right here, but this is just congestion. These candle bodies are really tiny, just side by side. A lot of these are inside to each other. And it chops around, starts moving down this green down channel. It's a little noisy. I saw this as a potential triple test of this line, not this blue trading range that it eventually established. So this blue trading range doesn't exist yet, but this resistance does. Looks like it was 1 attempt up, second attempt, third attempt, new low, first entry short, potential second entry short. I thought there might have been a trade there because it's coming off the top of this potential trading range established here. Not here yet, but here. And I was thinking, this is a good signal bar. EMA doesn't quite matter as much right now in this time of day because it's just too flat. Prices are going above and below. So it's not reliable as a support or resistance. Pushes down, bounces. So at this point, I do establish this larger blue trading range as a potential guideline. There's new high, first entry long pullback. Technically, I have a second entry long here. Well, now it's confirmed, but it's not a good setup. So I'm looking for a higher low. And you kind of get a higher low here, but it's a red signal bar, so it's nothing here. Triple test here. So it's 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. But triple test, I'm not convinced this is a good trade to take. But then it does move below and pushes up. So there is a potential trade right here because you're expecting it to move back to the high. And I chop sideways. The second entry short here, new low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short. You don't know you're going to have a second entry short until you have this signal bar or this trigger bar confirm a second entry short. Decent, but there's no real room to scalp out because you do expect a test of this green, but there's no room, so it's more of an almost trade. Pushes down and out, flushes down, and I chop sideways. You have a visual first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short, but you're not thinking of going short when you see the signal bar. Plus, it never broke below the EMA, but I'm not thinking of failed second entry short either, so I'm just waiting. But now you do have a first entry short, second entry short. You could have considered this lower high. But then it starts pushing up. So this is actually what I thought was a possible trade, but I missed it. So I saw a new low, visual first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Second entry short here is about to fail. Technically, it failed on this candle because it did break up, but it closed low. But it looks like it's about to fail. I also saw a new low, new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. Second entry long looks like it's about to reverse. So when this opened, and it pushed up, I dropped my order right at the highs of this, but it never came back. And once it moved 2 points, I decided, okay, that's it. The trade's been made. Don't try to chase this. The best you can hope for now is a higher low, which is up and out. So that was a missed trade. And it's just like, at that point, kind of late in the day, I just resigned myself to say, okay, well, there's no more trades to take. Just kind of take it easy. You already got 2 trades earlier. Pushes up. There's no clean second entries. It looks like another spike in a channel. Comes down on this orange down channel, first entry long. Technically, have a second entry long here, but it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Doesn't even have a very clean setup. Top sideways. This trading range was actually tighter. Let's see here. Again, it's actually tighter initially here. The new low, first entry short. Also new high, first entry long pullback. You have a second entry long here. It's bad signal bar. Prices are just obeying and floating inside this trading range pretty well. But now there's kind of a bullish bias. So I'm thinking there's going to be a breakthrough here. Break, fail breakout. Prices continue moving back in. So first entry long pullback. Technically have a second entry long here, but it's not a good signal bar. Plus, my expectation is prices are going to move back into this trading range and test the low. And it kind of does do that, but there was no clean setup because you're thinking second entry long here. It does confirm, you could say there's a potential second entry short here, but in real time, I see this signal bar, I'm not convinced. And then by the time this one closes, I can't sell at the low of this because now I'm concerned about a potential bounce off of here. Oscillates, kind of gets choppy. First entry short, technically have a second entry short here, but there's too many dojis here. I don't really like that. I chop sideways. And this is getting into the last 10 minutes. And I ended up drawing this a little bit higher because it looked like it fit pretty well. But now, as I said, getting into the last 10 minutes, and I'm more super cautious and ready to just not take anything when it's within the last 10 minutes. Prices continue moving up. That keeps pushing. And this is like the last 10 minutes, all this crazy price action. Just for educational purposes, there is like a first entry long pullback, second entry long, but it's kind of way below the EMA. It's a little bit out in the middle of nowhere. You don't get a higher low. Plus, if there was a higher low, this technically is a higher low. It's below the EMA, nothing looking too clean. It pushes back down. You have a first entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but it looks more like a visual one leg, and then it moves sideways into the close. So it's kind of a pretty interesting day. Good volume, good volatility, and a lot better today trading than it has been this week. And it was good to get 2 wins to kind of recover from the 2 losses that I took yesterday. So it is the start of a new month. Hopefully things start picking up and, well, we get more days like this because you have more opportunities. So hopefully that was helpful.